everyone. Story time about how I lost my V card. PSA, the only reason why I'm doing this story time is because after I commented on a video, it was highly requested. Okay, let's get into it. By the way, I do not condone any of the things in this story time. One more thing, if you're my family, please skip past this video, if you have not already. So one night, my friends, my boyfriend and I decided that we were gonna take LSD. And it was around 8 o'clock, and our one friend was trip-sitting us. And this was my first time doing LSD. And I always said that I was gonna save myself for marriage, you know. Guess not. Well, there was a couch right next to this bed, right? And about 6 hours into our trip, my boyfriend and I laid on the bed. Everybody else was doing their own thing. And our one friend was laying on the couch. He was trying to go to sleep. So my boyfriend and I, a few hours later, we fell asleep on the bed, right? And we wake up in the morning and our friend, we think, is sleeping on the couch. And we were both in the mood. So because we thought he was sleeping, we did the nasty. Well, after I looked over to see if he was still sleeping, turns out he wasn't. Story time about how I lost my.
Show yourself 3 Januaries in a row. Show yourself 3.
Story time about how I catfished all the popular boys in my grade and they found out about it. So a little background information. I was at a new school. I just started there probably like 4 months before this happened. And I was best friends with this one girl. We're gonna call her Kate. And Kate had a crush on this guy. We're gonna call him Alex. And he liked her back, but she wanted to see if he was loyal. Well, at least that's what it was supposed to be at first. But then he started to actually fall in love with this bitch. So then I started feeling bad and I told my friend that I just wanted to end it right there. And she was like, no, let's keep going. This is so funny. Mind you, this was the boy that she liked. So at that point, I was like, whatever. And then he asked to meet up at the mall. So then we took him on a whole goose chase around the whole mall. Like, we were like, oh, we're in this store. Never mind, we're in this one. And the only reason why we got away with it was because he thought he saw us in the one store. So then we broke up with him and we started talking to all the other popular boys. And on this fake account, we said that we went to a different school. Well, one of the kids at that school said that he never saw us there, like for part 2. Story time about part 2 about how I catfished all the popular boys in my school and they found out about it. So like I said, the one kid said, oh, I never saw you at my school. So then I just blocked him and thankfully that situation got left alone. Well, then after that, like I said, we started talking to all the other popular boys. We're gonna call this catfish Ashley. Well, at that point, everybody knew who Ashley was. Like, I would literally be sitting in class and all the girls would be talking about how much they hate Ashley, how Ashley's such a hoe. Like, all the girls despised her. Sorry, her. And they kind of had a reason to, because we broke up so many relationships and everything. Well, the one night I'm having a sleepover with my friends. Well, Kate asked if she could come to the sleepover as if it wasn't obvious that she could come. Just a quick reminder, Kate was the one who I started the account with. So I was joking around with her and I was like, no, you can't come. So I wake up the next morning, right? And all the popular boys are blowing up my phone on my actual accounts, like for part 3. Part 3 about how I catfished all the popular boys in my school and they found out. So like I said, I wake up the next morning and thankfully it was a Sunday. And like I said, I woke up to text messages from all of Alex's friend group. And all these text messages were like, are you the one running the Ashley account? We saw screenshots of all the messages between you and Kate. So I texted Kate and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, how does everybody know? And she made some bullshit ass excuse saying that her brother took her phone and took pictures of all the conversations and sent them to everybody. Which obviously I knew that wasn't true. But after that I went into a whole depression because everybody just kept coming at me for this fake account. Whatever, it was literally me and her who created it. She was the one who wanted to make it to fucking catfish this guy that she liked. So I wasn't going to school for a few days and my guidance counselor literally had to come to my house. Pretty much drag me out of the fucking house and bring me to school. So I sat in the guidance counselor's office all day and then I had to move schools. Part 3 about how
overdue spa day for my boyfriend. These transitions are crusty. This motherfucker kept moving, so now the bros are uneven.
With a body on me, goddamn, I'm popping, I'm hot. Thick bands in the motherfucker pants. He was staying for my stand, so I took him to the spot. I don't wanna talk, I wanna be in your mouth. Tell that nigga get out, he ain't packing with a Glock.
He is lucky, he is cute.
Throw it back and let it lay.
Overdue spa day.
Part 3 about how
Overdue.
Story time about how I found out that my mom was sleeping with my history teacher to get me better grades. So it was my junior year of high school, and everybody knows that your junior year is the most important year of high school. If you didn't, well, now you know. My brother was in his senior year of high school, and when he was a junior, he had the same teacher, so he knew how hard the class was. So he would stay up with me every night helping me to pass my history class. Well, the one day I'm at school and I'm taking a test, and I literally did not know anything on the test. And I studied the night before for literally 4 hours straight. So I decided to copy off the girl next to me. Well, a few days later, we get our test back. And I'm looking at mine, and I got a 97%. And then I look over to the girl next to me. She got a 33%. And then I started going through the test. None of the essay questions looked like my handwriting. But I didn't say anything because I wanted that A. Well, the one night, I'm sitting down with my family having dinner. And I told them that I copied off the girl next to me. And how I got a 97% and she got a 33%. And my brother flips out like for part 2. Story time about part 2 of my mom sleeping with my history teacher to get me better grades. So like I said, I told my parents that I got a 97, she got a 33. And I was telling them how the handwriting didn't even look like mine and everything. And then my brother starts flipping out. In front of my dad, too. He goes, "Mom, are you fucking serious? You couldn't let her try and do this on her own?" And I was super confused. Like, I thought that maybe he was talking about my mom paid off the teacher. But then he said, "Yeah, Dad, if you didn't know, Mom's been fucking our history teacher to get us better grades." And then he goes, "Mom, you're such a fucking whore." And my mom's sitting there not even fazed. She just took a drink of her wine and said, "Get the fuck upstairs now." Before my brother leaves the table, he goes, "Maybe you can fuck Dad's boss too. Maybe he'll get a raise." And then I realized what was happening. And it's around 6:30 p.m. So after that, a lot of stuff happened. My dad obviously wanted to get a divorce at that point. So my dad took my brother and I to our grandparents, and we stayed with them for like 2 weeks. But then everybody at school found out, and we got made fun of a lot. And then after that, we moved schools. Part 2 of my mom sleep. Terrifying story about me going to get my IUD. So my boyfriend's mom and my friend went and took me to the doctors to get my IUD. And yes, I said my boyfriend's mom because if my parents knew, they would have killed me. So everything's normal. I go in the room, get undressed, sit up on the table, put my legs up on that thing. And next thing I know, 8 male student doctors walk in the room and are all looking at my cooch. All of them. So then my doctor walks in and he's like, "Kaylee, we're gonna have one of my students put in your IUD. Like, oh great, I'm already scared as shit. Thanks. So they open up my cooch. All 8 doctors are looking in my fucking vagina inside. And he goes to put it in the first time. And I was already scared because I knew that it fucking hurts. So it's in, everything's good. He goes to cut the string and fucking pulls it out. I was already in excruciating pain. So they let him do it a second time. And he does the exact same fucking thing. I was about to kick him in the face. Terrifying story about me going to get my IUD.